What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we got quite a bit of new information about Battlefield 2042, as well as some new gameplay that shows off a much more recent build of the game than we had access to in the open beta. And let's just dive right into it and start it off with the new specialists that they are showing off. The first one is Naveen Rao, and with him, he is a recon specialist, and his trait is called Trojan Network. And with this one, you can hack enemy players, and if you hack an enemy player and then kill them, it will reveal their teammates in the surrounding area on the minimap. So you guys can see right there, as he gets this kill on the player that he hacked, you can suddenly see his teammates are popping up around him. As for his specialty, this is Cyber Warfare Suite, which allows him to hack enemy equipment as well as in-world objects like we can see here in the gameplay. Personally, I don't really see myself using this specialist all that much, but it's a neat addition. As for the next specialist they're showing off here, this is Dozer, who we have seen before in some previous marketing for this. And with this, he's an assault type specialist, and his trait is blast resistant, which is just like Flak Jacket from Call of Duty. It makes it so he takes less damage from explosives. As for his specialty, this is his ballistic shield, and with this, you can use this to block enemy projectiles, and I also noticed in this gameplay here, it appears he's actually reflecting the bullet damage back to the player that's shooting at him. And it didn't really seem like it was just a random chance of maybe the odd bullet hitting. It actually seemed pretty consistent as he kept that enemy centered on his screen. So that concerns me a little bit, but I at least like the idea of having the shield. I'm just not too sure about how consistent it seemed at bouncing those bullets back toward the enemy. But moving on to our next operator, this is Sundance, and with her, she's an assault specialist, and her trait is the wingsuit. With this, we can see it for ourselves in the gameplay. She can traverse really long distances if she has some verticality there. And it looks like you actually have quite a bit of control over yourself as you're in that wingsuit as well. So that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I could definitely see myself using that sometimes. But after that, for her specialty, she has smart explosives. And with this, you get a versatile set of anti-armor, EMP, and scatter grenades. And this works kind of like the plus system. So you can actually pull up your grenade belt mid-game and select which one of these grenade types you want to use. And then you can use that for the given situation. And that also sounds really useful and versatile. As a result, Sundance definitely seems like a type of operator that would appeal to me. Moving on, let's talk about the next operator, which is Jisoo Pike. And with her, she is a recon specialist, and her trait is threat perception. And with this one, when enemies deal damage to you, they will automatically be spotted for you, so they'll be highlighted through walls and spotted on the minimap, which is a fairly neat trait to have for those that might like that. However, I think a lot of people are going to be concerned about her specialty, which is the EMG-X scanner. And with this one, when you activate it, it allows you to see nearby enemies through walls. So it's basically a free wall hack they're giving you. And I really don't think this is going to fly very well with the Battlefield community. And I don't think it fits well in Battlefield as well. But that's just my personal opinion on it. I don't see myself using her all that much. But I think a lot of lower skilled players are going to be gravitating toward her. And with that, we have one more specialist to look at in today's video. This is Angel. And he is a support specialist. And his trait is called Trauma Specialist, which basically just allows you to revive allies quickly, and also when you do revive them, they will come back with full health and armor. So he's really a proper medic in Battlefield, but on top of this, for his specialty, he has the loadout crate, which he can throw down, and this will provide armor, ammo, and new loadouts to yourself and your allies. So you can actually use this to select a different loadout without having to redeploy and get yourself killed. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the new specialists that they showed off here, and I do like some of them. I think they are going to be good additions to the game. Overall, though, it really looks like they are doubling down and they are sticking with specialists. That was the biggest complaint within the Battlefield community, at least, was the specialists and the fact that they basically scrapped the class system. It looks like they are not backing down on that, and they seem confident that once we get to the full build of the game with access to all of the specialists and the progression systems and any other new mechanics that weren't present in the beta, DICE seems confident that we'll end up liking the specialist system. For me personally, I don't mind it at all, but I'm not much of a Battlefield player, and I totally understand the complaints that are coming from the hardcore Battlefield fans. Now, let's move on to the blog post where they discuss a bunch of the changes they're going to be making from the beta build to launch. And just a few basic ones here. They're going to be increasing the tank count on Orbital from 4 up to 8. They're also going to be changing the movement up a little bit, so they're adding the ability to strafe slightly while sliding, also the ability to vault on moving objects, and they're toning down jump spamming. Also, they've added a nearby grenade indicator, which is great because sometimes you just didn't see a grenade come in and it was right next to you and you didn't realize that. And then you would just get blown up. And they've adjusted the elevators, and also entry and exit animations are a little bit faster. Now, on top of this, something that was missing in the beta but will be there in the full build of the game is the big map. So you'll be able to pull this up at any point throughout a match, and you can see a full overview of the map without having to get yourself killed and wait in the redeploy section. Also, another feature that we didn't have access to the beta that will be there at launch is called the Comaros. And with this one, it's basically just a way for you to communicate with your teammates without having to use a microphone. So you can communicate very basic things like saying thank you, or I need ammo, or need healing, or need spotting, or something along those lines. It allows you to have that basic form of communication at least. Additionally, we saw a bunch of UI changes, which were really nice to see. So on the map, you can see the heads-up display looks quite a bit better. We see a colorful kill feed on the left side of the screen. Now all of your score events, instead of showing up on the right-hand side of your screen above your ammo counter and everything, those are showing up centered right under where you get the kill, which is, again, really nice to see. It definitely looks better. And then another huge thing is the critical alert message. This is that banner that comes down from the top of the screen, and in the beta, it was really eye-catching and it was a little bit distracting at times, and it actually covered way too much of the top part of the screen, or way more than it should have at least. And they've made some adjustments to this to make it a bit more transparent and just not quite as in the way and jarring to see. So overall, the UI is looking much more polished and better in this build of the game. Now let's talk about loadouts. It looks like we will be able to customize our loadouts, and they will save across matches now in the full build of the game, because that wasn't happening in the beta. You had to set it up every time you spawn into a match. You had to reset your setup. Now you can set those all up beforehand, so then you can just hop in, hit the button, and you're ready to go with your perfect build. Additionally, in these menus, we are going to be seeing much more detail on exactly what changes when we alter our attachments, which is, again, nice to see. Also, when you first get into the match, this is our insertion flow. This is what we're going to be able to see. So you can see who's in your squad, and they can customize their appearance, like their calling card and all those sorts of things, and emblem it looks like. So in some ways, it should give you maybe a slight indication of the types of players that are going to be on your squad, although I don't know how much information this is going to provide for us. And similarly, when the game ends, you're going to be able to see all the metrics from the game. So you can see how many objectives you captured, how many kills you had, what place your squad got compared to the other squads that were in the game. And this is also nice to see. I definitely felt like that was something that was missing from the beta. Now, just a few more little things. They have slightly slowed down the health regeneration, and this is meant to make the medic specialist a little bit more relevant in the game, because the standard healing time, at least for a Battlefield game, was pretty fast in the 2042 beta, and that made it so medics were not really necessary and didn't have as much of a role, especially when it comes to team play. Also, it looks like they're doing a lot of work on making it so enemy players will stand out a lot more than friendly players. They made it so if you're within 10 meters of an enemy and they are within your line of sight, the icon will be present above their head, so you'll be able to see very clearly that that is an enemy player, and hopefully very quickly that that is an enemy player. For friendly icons, they won't be showing through walls anymore. Like, if you don't have a direct line of sight on them, they won't be showing through walls within 40 meters of you. So that should just clean things up a little bit and lessen those situations where you see an enemy player, but there's a green or blue dot directly above their head, making it look like a teammate, but it's just a teammate that happens to be standing directly in line with you and that enemy player. Hopefully they manage to do a little bit more than this, because I don't know if those two fixes are going to be enough when everybody's running around as the same specialist, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they end up bringing for us at launch. Now, finally, they did mention for controllers, they are upping the aim assist strength. Apparently, they did have aim assist active in the beta. I really didn't feel it at all, or at least very rarely did I feel any sort of aim assist. And they are going to be bumping that up so it's more in line with previous Battlefield games, which is exactly what I was asking for, and I'm really happy to see that. And then finally, they did confirm that we will be able to have our cross-platform parties in the full build of the game, which we already knew about. It's just something we didn't have access to in the beta. Like, a PS5 player couldn't play with his PC friends. Now you'll be able to do that. Just keep in mind, with the older generation of consoles, they can only play with each other. They're not going to be in the same player pool as all of the other platforms. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Just recapping a bunch of the more important changes we're going to be seeing from beta to launch. I'm really happy to see them create this blog post and go into a bunch of detail and explain a lot of this stuff. And honestly, it's something I really hope we see soon for Call of Duty as well, because we did get a very small blog post just barely touching on some things that they're going to be looking at after the beta. We didn't get anything super detailed like this yet, though, and I'd love to see that. But in either case, I'd like to hear in the comment section below, what are you guys thinking about these new specialists that they showed off for Battlefield 2042? And also, what are you thinking about the changes that they've outlined between beta and launch? Is this getting you more excited for the game, or not so much? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.